Hi, this is TSG Multimedia's Dan Cortopassi, and today I'm reviewing a TCS WOWDiesel DCC sound decoder. This is the version with the Keep Alive, so it includes the KA2 Keep Alive module, the decoder, and a JST harness. This decoder with the Keep Alive has an MSRP of $129.95. I paid just under $100 for mine. I've installed the TCS decoder into this Athearn Genesis F unit. The decoder is here, and the Keep Alive is here, and this is an 8-ohm 28mm round speaker. This is a wired installation, so it wasn't any more or less difficult than any other decoder that's wired to do. And I also ran my wires for the lighting functions through the cab. For this model, I'm using the 567 non-turbo prime mover sound. This decoder also includes a 567 turbo, 645 turbo, and 710 turbo. The decoder has 31 individual horn sounds to choose from, 34 bell sounds, dynamic brakes, as well as uncoupling and coupling sounds, plus many others. The decoder has 6 light outputs and 19 different lighting effects. The decoder can be programmed conventionally using CV programming, and it also has what they call audio assist. To get into the audio assist mode, you have to hit the F8 key 4 times in succession.
Welcome to Audio Assist. Use button 1 to hear the sound programming options. Use button 2 to hear the lighting programming options. Use button 3 to hear the motor control programming options. Use button 4 to hear additional options. Use button 0 to exit Audio Assist.
So now I'm going to press button 1.
Use button 1 to adjust sound volumes. Use button 2 to map a sound to a button. Use button 3 to select a prime mover. Use button 9 to return to the previous menu. Use button 0 to exit Audio Assist. Goodbye.
Alright, so I went ahead and exited. I've used this, and personally, my opinion is I don't really care for it. It reminds me of being on one of those phone menu systems when you have to press one for English and whatnot. I find it kind of cumbersome. Maybe some people like it. My personal opinion, I don't care for it. Another thing I found with this decoder is that I was not able to speed match it to any of my other engines, either using conventional programming with CV5, 6, and 2, or using the audio assist version of speed matching, where you get it into a mode where you can adjust it, and then you just hit one key to go faster and one key to go slower. I wasn't able to have any effect on the locomotive speed doing that. Now, it could be that I'm doing something wrong, but that's a pretty major flaw as far as I'm concerned. Another thing that I'm not crazy about on this decoder is it has a separate light mode and sound mode. I think TCS had their heart in the right place when they did this to try to make it more versatile, since you only have so many buttons on the controller, and they're trying to make it so that you have more things you can do with those same buttons. But to me, it's cumbersome to have to switch between light mode to control the lights and then sound mode to control sounds. That's just not the way I like to operate. So this is in light mode, and now I can control some different lighting functions. And then in sound mode, those buttons do something else. So I personally find that confusing. Again, it's not the way I like to operate. I basically have a standardized way that I like to program all my locomotives, and I just wasn't able to do that with this decoder. Also, I found that the lighting outputs are limited as to how you can map them to buttons. I prefer a decoder that allows you unlimited freedom into mapping the outputs to any button you like. So the sound of the prime mover is actually very good. I'm less impressed by some of the other sounds. The horn sound is nice, but there's no transition between on and off. I've heard some other decoders where it will ramp into the horn sound and then ramp out again, so it sounds a little more organic rather than just like an electronic horn. Has quite a bit of momentum set, that's why I'm holding it. Yeah, the Bell sound's not that great either as far as I'm concerned. They have other ones you can choose from, but this locomotive has some features that are kind of interesting, like it has a parking brake type feature so that you can set that and it won't run until you release it. Again, that's not something I personally find that useful, but some people may like that. One thing I'd like to point out with the Keep Alive is that, okay, here's the engine, and now I'm going to turn the power off. Okay, the sound went off, but it's still running. Still running. Okay, now it's stopped. Depending on how fast you're going and how much power it's using, the Keep Alive can keep it going for maybe up to 30 seconds or so. Keep in mind that while that's happening, you have absolutely no control over the engine. So if, for example, your engine is heading toward a siding that runs off the edge of the layout, and you hit the power button thinking that you're going to stop it, that's not going to work. You're going to have to go catch it. So just something, and that's not the fault of this decoder. That would be any engine with a Keep Alive in it would do that. But it's just something to think about if you have decoders with a Keep Alive. Because of the nature of decoders, this review is a little more subjective than most we do. A lot of it's influenced by my own biases about how I like to operate. I'm going to take a spike off for the cumbersome nature of the decoder in terms of having a separate sound and light mode, and also the audio assist programming, which I find more annoying than helpful. Some people may like that, however. I'm going to take a spike off for the speed matching issue because that's something that's really a deal breaker for me. If I can't match my engines to all the other engines that I have so that I can run them in any combination I want to, the decoder really is useless. Again, it could be that I'm doing something wrong. Maybe there's a learning curve here that I didn't have time to fully explore. In any case, I'm going to take a spike off for that. I'm going to take a spike off for the inability to map the function outputs as universally as I'd like to. I just couldn't map some of the outputs to the function keys that I wanted to use. And also, I'm going to take a spike off for the price, because there are other sound decoders available for less money that I think are as good, if not better than this. So I think it's not a very good value. Some people may disagree with that as well, but that's my opinion. So my final verdict on this is 6 out of 10 spikes, and I don't think I would buy another one because it just doesn't suit my style of operation. If you or your company make a product that you'd like us to review, please drop us a line at reviews@tsgmultimedia.com.